Ethan Van Sciver has gone completely off the rails in recent months. It seems like Eric July just broke him. When Isom became a bestseller a couple times over, Ethan actually was hired to do the second cover of it. Ethan just got incredibly jealous that his campaign started to drop off in sales because he wasn't actually providing any kind of like good entertainment or any informational value with his channel anymore. And his channel was shrinking just because, his ego, if anything. And so he went on a relentless attack against Eric July over and over and over again. Now, his whole channel is just dedicated towards that now. All he does is these things called Trashcast, which is a big cope also making fun of Flashcast. Because again, Yellow Flash just usurped Ethan. He made a live stream that a lot of people just like to watch. Because he provides entertainment. He talks about the topics people like, and Ethan just couldn't get over that hump. He's just not as good of a broadcaster as somebody like Yellow Flash. So he got upset with Yellow Flash for being more successful than him. He got upset with Eric for being more successful than him. And now he's going at small accounts and small authors, people who are invested in the Iron Age, a wonderful movement of good people who actually care about fiction, who care about bringing things back, who are everything Comicsgate was meant to exemplify, is in this group. And he's trashing them just because he's upset because these people kind of are friendly with Eric July, is what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's that insane. Watching Ethan go full bore, attacking a small author like John A. Douglas here because he's defending Eric July is so bizarre. And we're going to get into the news in just a moment. Now, this is normally where I promote my own book. I love to promote my own books on the channel, of course. That's what we're here for. I use these channels to promote great content. I'm actually going to promote John A. Douglas's book today for you guys. This is called The Black Crown. It's a wonderful fantasy novel. John A. Douglas is a good person who puts in the work. He really does. And he's somebody worth following, and he's worthy of your support. So I'm going to put his link in the description below rather than my own. See if we can, pay it forward and, bring things across and actually build a community of people who actually care about replacing Marvel and DC, fighting Marvel and DC, fighting the evil Disney entertainment outlets out there with good. And that's what we were trying to do. That's what Comicsgate was supposed to be. Ethan, you forgot you forgot your ways. And it's just been a really sad downward spiral over the last several months. Now, Ethan's been losing followers, losing subscribers at a rapid clip. I've been watching this. If you go over to the Social Blade and just look at his channel, people are really tuning out over there because they're very, very sick of this. Even if people didn't like Eric July or like his books all that much to begin with, they've just found it just really petty and sick and weird that Ethan devotes his entire life to just shitting on this guy. It's really, really sad. But when it comes to the Iron Age is a movement that really is something that exemplifies the best in everybody. The Iron Age really came from a study of the old pulps. It got popularized by Raz0rfist's, a wonderful YouTuber who's made a great book called Ghost of the Badlands, which it's really funny. You can see who Ethan's scared of talking about by the fact that he won't talk about them. Raz0rfist is one of them. Vox Day is another one of them. Ethan will not talk about them because he's just afraid of their prowess and afraid because, those two guys have really done what Ethan claimed he set out to do. They've produced wonderful books. They've really built infrastructure and changed the game for comics and novels. While Ethan's sitting on multiple campaigns he hasn't fulfilled, which he tries to spin, these books take time. Ethan, you're writing a fucking robot frog book. It's it's not. You're not writing War and Peace. It's not the next great American novel. It's kind of like a dumb pulpy concept anyway, which is fine. But you need to get those out in a pulp speed fashion. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of everybody's time. Rainbow the Brute is literally just like a Rainbow Bright mixed with Conan the Barbarian. It's you're not writing anything other than pulpy schlock stuff, which I love. I love pulpy schlock stuff. There's nothing wrong with that again. But the fact that it takes 3-4 years to come out with like a 48-page book, come on, bro. You're not even working on it. You're just sitting there on your live streams, raking in super chats, and then shitting on all of your allies in the culture war who actually propped you up this entire time. It's really, really a sad downfall, much like your boy Zach's been doing over on his channel. It's really, really funny because a lot of this came about once Ethan started defending your boy Zach for attacking everybody. And as I said in my video yesterday, he only did so because he went at Eric July and Az. since as your boy Zach was attacking them, Ethan did the galaxy brain thing and go, oh, attack them equal good. And then tried to convince his audience that your boy Zach's not actually spiraling. We all know it's to be the case. You can't hide this kind of stuff, and you can't run cover like this. But it got really tacky here again as he's just attacking a small account in John A. Douglas. Now, Eric July ran a sale of his old books over the weekend. There's a lot of talk about that going on. The original ISOM book is $5, along with a couple other things in his store, to try to offload stuff from his warehouse. Now, I think he probably printed a little too many of those. It is taking up a lot of space, but it is like an older book at this point, and he is just offloading it to get new product into the door. This is actually a really tried and true way to actually get new customers in on a long-term series. It's done by Amazon authors all the time. One of my good friends, Lindsay Buraker, who actually makes way more money than Eric July or Ethan on her novels, actually has one of her books permanently free on there. It's the first book in her series, which is called Dragon's Blood. And that book being permanently free has gotten in hundreds of thousands of people buying her books, and then subsequently buying the entire series as a result. It's a really good marketing technique. So having something on sale for a bit, or even permanently, is not a bad idea as you've already paid for the art on the project, you've already paid for the print costs. So why not just get more people reading it down the line when it's an older book? It's a brilliant strategy. So I've seen it before. It's standard course of action for the business, and yet they're trying to make it into some sort of scandal, which only a complete retard would believe that's a sort of scandal. And that's exactly who Ethan's trying to appeal to now. He's really just going at trolls who are big fans of Dick Masterson, and his biggest problem in the universe. The Ethan Ralph sort of people. Ethan really wants to be Mr. Medicare really, really badly. He's not funny enough, and he's actually mad, and he's got a giant ego, where Mr. Medicare legitimately doesn't care. So, you're never going to be that, is what it comes down to. And because of that, he's lost a lot of the people who actually care about comics, who actually care about cultural movements, the stuff he built his channel on to begin with, and that's why his sort of influence is slipping in the culture these days. And as he has his influence slip, instead of actually righting the ship and doing what's right, instead of fighting the culture war, instead of standing beside other creators who are actually doing the work and doing what he used to do back in the day when he ran a platform, it was a really good thing back in 2018. He'd have all sorts of conservative creators out there who had been blacklisted, who are new creators. All that has gone by the wayside in order to just go at Eric July over and over and over again, go at his former allies because he's upset they're more successful than him. It's really, really sad to watch. And so now he's going at small accounts here, as I said. This guy, Ethan quote tweeted him calling John A. Douglas an asshole immediately. Again, this is not a thread with Ethan. Ethan's not on the thread here. He just said, I'd never been seen so many irritated vaginas over a fucking sale before. Very true. And so Eric sold a comic book for $35. It's now $5. That's a steep drop in price. That shows a comic never worth $35, never will be again. Well, by the way, none of Ethan's books are really worth anything either. There's 2,000 people who care about this stuff. And, this whole collector's market is just kind of a big scam to begin with anyway, guys. People buy books to read them for the most part. And that's why I like Amazon as an ecosystem, because it's not about this false collector's market. That's what Marvel and DC's propped up for years, claiming that, these are collector's items. It's an all-new X-Men #1, even though it's the 5th X-Men #1. I mean, it takes a complete retard to buy into that being a collector thing anyway. And it's cool. If you want to collect things, there's nothing wrong with that. I collect some comic books too, but I have no illusion that it's because I'm trying to make an investment money. I invest my stuff in the stock market and in bonds when I do that, and in my 401k, because that's what you should do if you're not an idiot. Comic books are not a good way to go, especially since the whole market's dying. These things are not going to be cared about in 10 years whatsoever. Nobody's going to want Cyberfrog at that point. Come on. It's pretty obvious. And so anybody who thinks that that's a collector's thing is just deluding themselves at this point. So John A. Douglas fired back. He said, the most irritated vagina of them all. And then Ethan goes, yeah, that's you. How are you such a cuckold that you don't recognize this as a huge wad of spit in your face? The Iron Age. What a bunch of losers. Wow. So going at the entire Iron Age just because, he wanted to slap back at this person who he attacked first. And you can see that Ethan likes to play victim when he's actually the aggressor here. It's a way of his doing things. So now he's attacked the Iron Age. This is Raz0rfist's movement, Raz0rfist's deal, where he made this a big, deal. And the whole Iron Age is about people working really hard, pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, where iron sharpens iron, as one is. And so all these authors these days are building their own platforms, doing their own things, not relying on corporate schlock anymore, not relying on anybody else other than themselves and their brothers in order to build things up and build a new model which is better than what came before. It's a really wonderful movement. It's built on positivity. It's built on kinship. It's built on people really doing the work on their own books, and everybody involved with it's been fantastic, guys. The Iron Age is really a much better spot and much healthier than Comicsgate, which just seems to be built on tearing down other creators when Ethan feels like it at his whim. And it is at his whim. He has no qualms and nothing sort of consistent with what he does whatsoever. One day he'll tell you somebody's the best person in the universe. The next day he'll trash them endlessly just because he feels like it and he thinks he can get some super chats that day. That's kind of the loser mentality here. Not being able to come out with your book, not being able to finish even fulfilling Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet. When did that even come out? Like 2018? Jeez. I mean, that's insane. That's called being a loser right there, Ethan. And it's very sad that you're treating people with disrespect like this who were your customers. I actually called him out on this. I said, this kind of stuff's been killing the movement for a while. You've got groups who you have a huge platform in the culture war that would support you, but you can't stop shitting on your allies. Your channel is shrinking, and so is your influence. Wake up and knock it off. And that's what I want. I really want him to knock it off. I want your boy Zach to knock it off, because we've got a culture to win here, and we could all be growing. We could all be like making something great. And instead of going at each other like this, instead of shitting on other people's books in the independent sphere, why wouldn't you just do that? There's plenty of ammo to go at the SJWs. I just did a video on Heather Antos and how she's giving into Satanism. Why are you busy out here calling the Iron Age losers? Gosh, it just is really sick at the end of the day. And it shows that Ethan Van Sciver is really in a bad path and he needs to correct his ways. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to buy a great Iron Age book in The Black Crown by John A. Douglas. This is fantastic stuff, guys, and let's support our fellow authors right here. I'm not even promoting myself in this video. We're just going to promote this guy and share this link out there, because if somebody that big has to try to tear down a small account like John A. Douglas, you know that John A. Douglas is doing something right. All right, we'll be back soon.